Alright everyone, just the day after making the video, I would have waited and give it a test run, but the weather forecast was looking crap for this week, so I thought it'd be a week at least before I got to try it. But as it didn't rain all day Sunday, and it hasn't rained all day today, I'm going to give it a little test run, see how quickly I can munch through that lot. I just started it up to check out the noise level, and it was in reverse, which I didn't realise at first, and it was like not bad at all. I thought, well, that's nowhere near as loud as it sounds on the video. You're not going to be annoying the neighbours with that. Then realised it was in reverse, stuck it forward, and now it is loud. So you might annoy your neighbours if you're using one for a long period of time. So I think you probably would be wanting to wear ear protection if you're going to be out there using that for a half hour or an hour at a time. It is going to be a bit sore on the ears. So not sure why an electric motor has to be as loud as that. But so yeah, ear protection's a must, I would say. So I think I'll set you up and dangle you out the window there on my little tripod stand and see how quick I get through that lot. I'd say some of them branches are going to be around about the 35, maybe 40 mil for a few of them, but be interesting to see how it goes. All right, we shall give it a whirl. 2 bucket loads. So the first one I should have checked really. It wasn't really cutting it as fine as it should do. So I should have put a few through and checked it, but I just assumed because I heard the grinding when I adjusted that wheel it'd be fine, but you can see some of it's not shredded properly. As opposed to the second bucket, loads better. That's probably took twice as much in that tub as I got with that first one, now that it's shredded a lot more. So far I'm pretty impressed. And a negative thing I'd say about it at this point is how loud it is. You're definitely going to need ear protection. I'll put some pretty big branches through it and it's handled them pretty good. Right. Okay everybody, that's me just finished. Don't know how long I've been out there, maybe been out there an hour and a half, 2 hours probably. On the whole, I'm going to say I'm impressed with it. So there was actually more in that part than what it looked. It was quite deceiving. There was a fair amount of stuff there, and it has shredded, I'd say 95% of what was in the part. A couple of thicker ones, some of them ones just to the left there will go through, just need to cut. Just some of them got like strong side branches like that, just clogs up if you're trying to push it through. And some, maybe the ends are just a fraction too big, I can just cut an inch or 2 off the end and put them through. So yeah, the first one I done, I should have checked really. I put a load through, thought that the bucket was filling up quicker than it looked like it was doing when I'd seen a few videos on YouTube, but it wasn't actually cutting it properly, so the bin was filling up quickly. It was kind of shredding some, and then some bits it was only cutting halfway, 3/4 of the way through, so you just ended up with like a kind of long, kind of floppy snake kind of thing. So not a little bit of fine tuning on the second bucket. It was much better. So you think how big that part was, and it was deceiving. There was more there than it looked, and basically that has come down to 4 tubs. So that's pretty good going. So some of it I'll use around the front garden, just as kind of wood chip, and that gets rid of some of it. But say imagine all them branches lying there, if you're trying to get rid of them to take down the rubbish tip, is like a nightmare. Whereas there, you could have that bagged up in kind of 3 or 4 bags, and well, if you've got a wheelie bin for the council collection, that would have probably not even been a full wheelie bin. So if you've got a lot to get rid of, it's definitely a good way of doing it. It feeds pretty well. You have to give it a little push now and again. Mostly it's the finer stuff, the real thin branches. It might take the main branch down, and then if you just got a lot of kind of light stuff at the top, maybe that you have to give a little push, but on the whole it feeds itself fairly well. So only thing at this point, early days obviously, that I would say against it is how loud it is. So ear protection, I must. If I'd had no ear protection on all that time, I'd probably have a pounding at it by now. So definitely wouldn't do your hearing any good. So 100% ear protection is a must. And the second, I would say also eye protection, a must as well, because the branches tend to spin around and flap about as it's pulling it down, so you very easily get hit in the face. So I've got that cheapo kind of helmet and visor, so it's got the ear muffs and the visor and everything on, so I could hear the branches slapping across what would have been my face numerous times and hitting the side of the helmet quite hard. So I would say eye protection, ear protection, an absolute must. So we'll see how it goes. So there's lots more work to be done. I'll be hoping to get these birch trees at the bottom. I'm going to try and remove that completely because it's actually quite a rotten tree. So I'm going to be trying to cut that down, and a good percentage of what's on the top of that tree would actually go through that chipper. There'll be some stuff obviously that won't, but a very large amount of it will. Right, that'll do. Wasn't a fantastic review. I was just kind of conscious again it done as it was getting a bit late and how loud it was. I'm sure the neighbours are probably, well, so I don't know how loud it is. If you're like a couple of gardens away, it's maybe not that bad, but your immediate neighbour, if they were sitting in the back garden, they wouldn't be happy. Right, that'll do. Catch you later.